Dear children, welcome to the online class of biology. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, and the characters that Mendel studied in the pea plant, Pisum, Sativum, etc. Okay, so today we'll start revising the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so as you know, at the time of Mendel, it was not sure that genes are located on chromosomes, isn't it? He simply said that there are certain factors that are responsible for passing the characters from parents to offspring are there, but he was not knowing that it was genes and these genes were located on chromosomes, etc. Okay, so what so many other reasons were also there for his failure. Means at the time of Mendel's lifetime, his theory was not accepted. Okay, so it remained unrecognized till 1900. Okay, so there were so many reasons. First, the communication was not easy at that time, isn't it? Then second, his concepts of genes or factors are stable and discrete units. Okay, so he said that these pairs or alleles will not blend. Okay, so this were not able to be accepted by the other scientists. Okay, then other thing was what Mendel's approach using the mathematical expressions, isn't it? Data collection, then what expressing it in the mathematics, expressing the things in the mathematical way, that was not what quite common to the biology people. Understood? Then finally, Mendel's work suggested that factors are discrete units. He couldn't put forward any proof or any experimentally he could not prove that. So these were the reasons for his failure. Okay, and one more thing is there. Actually, every scientist was after evolution theories put forward by Darwin at that time. No one gave much importance to Darwinism. Okay, but in 1900, three scientists, De Vries, Correns, and Teschmark, okay, they independently rediscovered Mendel's experiments theory. Okay, or they independently they rediscovered this. Okay, so at that time it was also possible to find the chromosomes during cell division and all. So this resulted, okay, in putting forward another theory known as chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so Walter Sutton and Boveri, these were the scientists who noted that behavior of chromosomes, how chromosomes are behaving during the cell division, okay, is parallel to the behavior of genes. Understood? So how genes movement or gene separation was there, so same way only chromosomes behave during mitosis and meiosis. Okay, so this is what chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so chromosomal theory of inheritance, what it says that the movement or the separation of genes proposed by Mendel, okay, is same as that of the behavior of chromosomes during mitosis and meiosis. Okay, so this is known as chromosomal theory of inheritance. Understood? Pairing and separation of a pair of chromosome would lead to the segregation of a pair of factors they carried. Understood? So we studied that new combination happens. All this, isn't it? Genes combination happens in F2 generation. So this is due to the behavior of chromosome, because chromosomes will get aligned in the center, isn't it, during mitosis and meiosis, and then they will exchange their fragments in case of meiosis. So all this are the behavior of chromosome is the is actually the cause for the segregation or the pattern followed by the genes. Understood? The experimental verification of the chromosomal theory, Sutton and Boveri put forward this, and this is experimentally proved by Thomas Hunt Morgan. Okay, so he has done his experiment in fruit flies known as Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, you will have to learn this name. Okay, Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, so there were so many reasons why they have selected this, because they are very simple simple organisms. They can complete their life cycle within 2 weeks. Okay, and they produce a number of progenies, and the male and female sexes are easily identifiable. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why they have selected Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, so from their studies it was found that the chromosomes, okay, they behave what they come close together, and they separate, they exchange their fragments during meiosis. All these are the reasons why the behavior of gametes, behavior of or genes, how they are getting recombined. Understood? Recombination happens due to the behavior of chromosomes. So this was proved by Thomas Hunt Morgan in Drosophila melanogaster. Next topic is linkage and recombination. So linkage means, actually it is, you can understand the tendency of the genes located in the same chromosomes to get inherited together. Okay, so according to Mental, there is no such things, isn't it? The genes are independent of the other pair, isn't it? Other pair. If T and round means tall, the gene for tallness, and if the gene for shape of the seed, if they are located together in the chromosome, okay, near to each other, but they are independent of the other one to get separated. That is according to independent assortment. But this is just opposite to what law of independent assortment means. The genes which are located in the same chromosome, okay, they are having the tendency to go together only. Okay, so for example, Morgan has hybridized yellow-bodied, white-eyed females. Okay, their shape, the color of the body was yellow and the color of the eyes were white. Okay, so they were crossed with brown-bodied, red-eyed males. So he could observe that actually it's a kind of dihybrid cross only, isn't it? Two characters are taken into means together their inheritance pattern was studied. So when he did like that, he could see that there was a lot of variation from the dihybrid ratio, that is 9:3:3:1. So he could explain this because of another phenomenon known as linkage. Okay, that is the genes, physical association of genes on a chromosomes. Understood? So recombination means it is what the tendency. This linkage and recombination are just opposite. If recombination takes place, then linkage will be less. Okay, and linkage, if it is there, then recombination will be less. Okay, recombination means recombination produces what? New combinants. We have learned that yellow and round seeded plants, when they were crossed with green and wrinkled ones, we could see that yellow and green were also there, and wrinkled and yellow seeds were also produced. Understood? So these were the new recombinants. This happened because of recombination. And linkage means this will not happen. Understood? So like this he could see that. Okay, and this character, that is white and yellow, white bodied and yellow, okay, they were very tightly linked, and they showed 1.3% of recombination only. But another two characters, that is white and miniature wing, okay, color and the size or shape of the wing, they showed 37.2% recombination. Understood? So this property, that is how much recombination and how much linkage they are showing. Linkage, if their two genes are showing too much linkage or recombinants are less, means they are located very close to each other. So this property was used for gene mapping. Okay, gene mapping were used for this. Understood? So like this, miniature the miniature and white, okay, these two characters, when they took, they could see that the recombinants produced was more when compared to yellow and white bodied. Understood? So like this, some of the genes which are located near to each other, they show high degree of linkage, and those the genes which are located very far from each other, they shows less linkage. Understood? Or more recombination. Then another topic that we have studied is polygenic inheritance. So polygenic inheritance means many genes. You know, genes are what located in chromosome, and they may be present in different chromosomes also. But if more than a gene, according to Mendel, what he says, one character will be controlled by one gene, that will have two alternative alleles. But if more than one gene is controlling one character, then it is known as what? The polygenic inheritance. Example is the skin color. Okay, skin color is what the genotype with all the dominant alleles. Okay, that is three set of alleles are controlling the skin color, A, B and C, and if they occur in dominant if they occur as dominant alleles, the person will be the darkest one. Okay, and with all the recessive alleles, that is A, small a, small b, small c, small c, if this is the condition, then that will be albino. Okay, and as the number of the dominant allele increases, okay, the intermediate means that persons will be having different color combination. With three dominant allele and with three recessive allele, that person will be intermediate in color. Understood? So this is also an additive character, means that as the number of dominant gene increases, the rate of darkness also increases. So this is what polygenic. Poly means many, genic means genes. Okay, many genes controlling one character. Is it clear? Then next is what? Pleiotropy. Pleiotropy means here one single phenotype is, okay, that is usually what it says, one single gene is controlling one trait. But here one gene controls more than one character. Such type of genes are known as pleiotropic genes. Understood? So example is what? Phenylketo. The gene which is causing the disease phenylketonuria is an example for a pleiotropic gene. Okay, so this disease is caused by the mutation in the gene that codes for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. We have studied all this, isn't it? Phenylalanine hydroxylase. So if this is not there, what will happen? It will cause the mental retardation, reduction in hair and skin pigmentation. So if this gene is mutated, if this gene is not there, phenylalanine hydroxylase won't be produced, and this will result in accumulation of phenylalanine. Understood? So this will be having different phenotypic expressions. That is, the disease will be formed, then what? Mental retardation, reduction in hair, skin pigmentation, reduction in skin pigmentation, all this will be caused. So about pleiotropy, you understood? One gene controls many characters. What is polygenic inheritance? Many genes controlling one character. Okay, examples you have to remember. Then next what we have studied, that is multiple allelism means many alleles. Okay, so all that clearly understand. Then next is what? Sex determination. So if the sex is determined by genetically, okay, then there are also different mechanism. XX, exotype, that is what present in insects. Okay, where what the XX exotype means, in this insects you can see Eggs bear what? The females, that is eggs bear what? X chromosome, and sperms can have X chromosome and some will not have X chromosome. So depends upon that. Okay, XX X0 type will be formed. Understood? This is very common in where? In insects. Okay, so all the X bear an additional X chromosomes beside the autosomes, and some of the sperms bear X chromosome and other do not, and eggs fertilized by sperms having an X chromosomes, that is XX, then it will be a female, and those eggs which are fertilized by sperms that will not have X chromosomes will become males, means X0. Okay, X0 will be males. So this is found in insects. Then in human being, XX XY mechanism is there, isn't it? Females can produce only one type of X, and males can produce two types of sperms, one containing X and one containing Y. Understood? So depends upon which sperm is fertilizing an egg. On that basis, the females and males will be formed. So here in both these cases, females are heterogametic, means the males are heterogametic, and in the birds, okay, there is another type, that is Z and ZO. Okay, here what happened? The female will have dissimilar pair of chromosomes ZW, and males will have similar ZZ chromosome. So males can produce only one kind of chromosomes, and females can produce two different types of chromosomes. Okay, so which type of female gamete egg is there? So on that basis the sex will be determined. So these are what? Various mechanism of sex determination. Okay, various what sex determination mechanisms found in different organisms. Okay, that is mainly three types are there. What are they? XX X0 type, then XX XY type, and ZZ Z0 type. So is it clear? Then in honeybee, then there is another special mechanism, that is the sperms, females will have 32 chromosomes, and they produce gametes, okay, having 16 chromosomes in each. Understood? And males will have only 16 chromosomes, they are haploid, and their sperms are produced after meiosis. And if a egg fertilized with a female, if a male, okay, if a male with 16 chromosomes fertilize the egg, then it will be 32 chromosomes and it will be a female. Okay, and males are produced without fertilization, that is a process called parthenogenesis. Understood? So offspring, when an offspring is formed by the fertilization, then that will be developing into a female, and that is equine or worker, and an unfertilized egg will be developed into a male. Okay, so males will have always half of the chromosomes and females will have 32 chromosomes. Understood? So this is known as haplodiploid sex determination system. Understood? Haplodiploid sex determination system. Understood? So like this we can say that the honeybee, in honeybee, okay, they do not have the males produce sperms by mitosis, and they do not have a father and thus cannot have their sons, but they are having grandfathers and can have grandsons, isn't it? Because they are produced from the unfertilized eggs, isn't it? They are not having father, but they are having grandfathers, because the mother is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes. Is it clear? So like this, sex determination is of different types. So mutation we will discuss in the next class. Thank you very much, children. Study all this so that you can do your examination well. Thank you.